Hello, everyone!
Hello.
Hi, we're back with lesson 5.
Wow.
I'm really excited to learn these next 5 particles.
Like you said, we do have some other particles that we have to cover. Let's cover those, and with that, we will be able to start making some sentences.
Yay! Let's dig in.
All right, we're gonna learn the particle it. This one, we write this as he. This character itself is he, but then it's similar to the particle wa, where we write it as ha, right? This character itself is ha, but when we use it as a particle, we have to change it to wa. That's why a, wa, b this. Usually Japanese, you pronounce the stuff with how it's written, not like English, right? English, the spelling many times are not related to how you pronounce it, which is terrible. But Japanese, you read off whatever is written, and that's how you talk, which is great. This character is he, of ha, he, hu, he. But then when we use this as a particle, we basically take off the consonant and say it. So we have to pronounce this particle as it. This one, in one word, is direction, similar to the word toward. Like, I'm heading toward school. I'm going, that person's
Like to?
walking toward, right?
Like,
Yeah. Good that you said to. What's the difference between to and toward? Like, for example, I go to school versus I go toward school.
towards school feels like you are in that motion already, where it's like if you say I go to school, it seems like maybe you're not going to school right then.
Okay, that difference, and that is true. That difference we're gonna learn later when we talk about the ing form has in Japanese. I'm just gonna quickly cover. Teiru is ing in English, but teiru has a couple meanings. One is ongoing action, like what you said, what you're doing right now. Like I am studying Japanese now, right? The second one is status. For example, I'm wearing a shirt. Doesn't mean that I am putting on shirt right now.
Right.
I wore before and then still wearing. Right? So that's considered as status. Ing has, the English version has another function, is to make the whatever verb it is to make it into a noun. Like I like studying. In that case, studying has become a noun, right? Like sleeping is important. In that case, sleeping is a noun. Right?
Okay.
But this third one, the Japanese version of ing doesn't have, the ing has only these two functions. And that's what you said, the status. In terms of status, I go toward, it is emphasizing more of the action of going. I go to school, like you said, can be just a status. Like it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to school right now, but as a status, yes, I go to school. I'm a student, right? That is a good difference. Let me ask you this question. So when we try to draw this sentence, with the sentence, first sentence, I go to school. Do you reach school? Like, let's not take it as a status. Like, for example, I went to school. In that sentence, did you reach school when you say I went to school?
Yeah.
Good. What about I walked towards school?
You're not there yet.
Or the goal can be somewhere else, right? Direction-wise, I am heading toward school, but then the destination might be somewhere else, different place. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Because like when you say, yeah, I'm walking toward south, or let's say specifically, I'm walking toward the sun. The sun is not your destination. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you might be heading toward the sun, but the destination might be somewhere else.
Okay.
Right? So that, in that sense, it is the word toward. It's vague, right? We don't know for sure. We do need some context. To is specifically meaning that you reach the place, destination. That's why for this one, which particle would you use after school?
Ni?
Good, right? Good job. Ni, destination, place, destination, right? When we want to mean I go towards school, vague meaning, this is when we use, instead of ni, e. Which comes back to the first thing that you pointed out. When you heard the word toward, you said like to. Yes, this one is ni, destination, right? I go to school. Oops. Destination. But toward is just direction. It's not specified if you're reaching the place or not. Right?
Okay.
So it's not exactly the same. It's similar, right? What's the difference then, you might ask? Vague. This is important. I have shared, I think, before, but in Japanese culture, generally, the more vague you are,
Polite. Oh, yeah.
right? Like, we go like roundabout way of talking to people. Directly talking is considered sometimes rude. We want to be as vague as possible. So with that culture, being vague, like I'm heading towards school, you don't know if you're reaching school or not, is considered polite. The conclusion is the particle it is the polite version of the destination ni.
So we're still meaning similar things.
Yeah. Polite or formal or poetic, meaning when you, like, for example, let's say you're writing lyrics, right? And you want to say something about like, I reached home and my room was a mess or whatever. If you want to say that in a poetic way, then it can be a good particle to use. Poetic, formal, polite version of ni. With that, e is not that important.
Okay.
Right?
But it's good to know.
It is good
in case
to know.
you wanted to, write poetry.
Right. As long as you are able to recognize it when you hear or when you read, then you're good. You don't need to necessarily use them.
Okay.
For example, the only time I use e usually is when I'm writing a letter to someone, and in English we say like dear someone, right? In Japanese custom, we say whoever e, like toward you, toward,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
This time I do use it, or like if I'm journaling or trying to write some poems, then I might use it. But other than that, I have never used it.
Hi, I'm Shiomi, and I'm the instructor for Virtual Nihongo. Shiomi-sensei です。よろしくお願いします。和歌山県出身です。At Virtual Nihongo, we are dedicated to helping you achieve your language learning goals through engaging classes and personalized lessons. Language learning is a lifelong practice, and sometimes it may be hard to get started when you don't have the resources or people to help you. From being able to watch animes without subtitles to being able to ask the locals where the bathroom is. Our team at Virtual Nihongo is dedicated to helping you achieve your language learning goals through engaging classes and personalized lessons. We offer a range of different Japanese classes, like our 6-month-long classes designed for beginner, intermediate, and advanced learners, and also our private tutoring lessons for those learners who want a more focused environment. Traveling to Japan and just need to know the essentials, we also offer a crash course in traveling Japanese to help you before your trip. To get started, scan the QR code on screen or go to virtualnihongo.org. If needed, we can have a consultation meeting to answer any questions. We look forward to helping you learn Japanese. ありがとうございます。
Let's do mo.
Mo.
Mo is like also or to. I'm Japanese. He's Japanese too. I'm studying Japanese. He's also studying Japanese. That kind of also and too. This one you want to be careful because in English, these words also and too, in terms of word order, are pretty flexible. I can say like, I am Japanese. He is also Japanese. Or I can also say he is Japanese too. Or I can also say also he's Japanese. Like there's many ways to many places where you can put also or too, right? So in that sense, these two words, too and also, are pretty flexible in terms of word order in English, right? Which is pretty rare in English because word order does matter in English, right?
Yeah.
But in Japanese, we only put more to a specific noun. And we're going to talk about what kind of noun do we put more to mean to. And you do have to stick with this one specific noun. So in that sense, it's not, I guess for English speakers, this particle can get confusing because in English you can put many places. So you might think like, okay, I can put more anywhere, right? But then in Japanese, no, you have to put after a certain specific noun.
And then figuring out what noun that actually is. Okay.
That is important, and that's the common mistake people make. They choose the wrong noun with that. Simple sentence. I am Japanese. With these two sentences, if you have to generalize it or divide into two groups, one group can be same info group. The other can be contrasting info group. When you compare these two, which part have the same info?
Japanese.
Good.
And different is the subject because you're talking about either you or Kiyoshi.
Good. Nice. Contrasting info is here. I versus Kiyoshi. So with this, you can categorize into two, right? More, we put more after the contrasting info. So for example, this sentence, where would you put more?
Kiyoshi?
Good. Kiyoshi mo.
Would you put it after Kiyoshi and to?
Oh no, well, this one, mo has that function. So by putting mo, it means to.
So you would only have to put it after the contrasting information,
Yep.
not with the to because that's implied.
Right.
Okay.
For example, let's try some different sentences. I sleep at 10. I also sleep at 11 sometimes. Oops. In this case, what's the
11.
contrasting info?
Yeah.
Good. So we have to put more after 11.
Okay.
Right? Many people, when they make mistakes, they put more after the same info. For example, here, more. I is the same thing, but because the English translation, like here, I also, so that's why they just try to put it to I, right? But again, just always remind yourself, more can only be put after the contrasting info. You have to look for the different info. Let's do another one. I study Japanese. I also study Spanish.
Spanish.
Good.
Mo.
I met my friends from junior high. Today, I met my friends from high school too.
High school.
Good.
But if you started with I met my friends from high school and I also met my friends from junior high, then it would be junior high.
Yep.
So it kind of matters what the sentence is following.
Right. You are comparing usually with the two sentences, right?
Okay.
And then figure out the contrasting info. Okay. So you're pretty solid
Yeah.
with understanding where to put now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Another point that's important for more. When we translated this one, we said watashi wa Nihonjin. I'm Japanese, right? And then we said Kiyoshi mo Nihonjin, right? One difference we can see is we put wa here and then we put mo here. Does that mean we can take off wa? What I mean is, like, we learned that wa functions as like am, are, these stuff, right? And we also just learned that mo functions as like to or also, right?
It seems like we would have to keep wa because Kiyoshi is, that is the A equals B sentence as well.
Right. So this part, I'm gonna explain. And this is really important to know. And this is another example of how people make mistakes. Mo can replace wa, ga, and o. The previous sentence, Kiyoshi is also Japanese. The original sentence would have been Kiyoshi wa Nihonjin. But then to put that to meaning, we can replace wa because mo is flexible enough to also take over the function that, hey, Kiyoshi is the subject. So you can see here, mo can only replace these three particles. And we have learned some other particles.
Ni and de.
So what do we do with those? For example, I sleep at 10 o'clock. Ni, right? Specific time. And then we said, yeah, after 11 we put mo. But then, like we just learned, mo cannot replace ni. What do we do? Mo is added after other particles. For example, this one, it should be 11 ni, right? And then to ni, you just add mo here. So 11 ni mo.
Oh, okay.
Yep. When the contrasting info doesn't take wa, ga, o, but other particles, since mo cannot replace them, you just add. When I say like, I study at school, I also study at coffee shop, then what particle would you put after coffee shop?
Would it be de? Because you're studying at the coffee shop? Okay.
What's the final product then?
Demo?
Good.
Okay.
So coffee shop demo, study. That's good. Okay, so that's mo. But just remember, don't just literally translate from English. Mo can only stick with the noun that's contrasting with the previous sentence usually. Next one. We have some simple particles that we can just use right away. Kara means from. Made
Made.
means until or to. Like from, for example, like from 10 to 1 I studied, right? When it comes to from and until or to, we can use these in many different ways. For example, places. Like I traveled from Japan to Europe, right? We can use from and to with places, right? And then like I just said, I study from 10 to 12 time as well. We can use it. We can even use it for like some intangible stuff you can't see or touch. For example, like I studied from philosophy to math. Like Osaka から東京まで. From Osaka to Tokyo.
Oh, yeah.
Or time. 10時 is 10 o'clock. 10時から1時まで. From 10 to 1 o'clock. So it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Right? We haven't covered no, have we? Okay.
No, we haven't.
Pun. We say dajare. Pun.
Oh, pun. Dajere.
Dajare. Okay, this one is also important. I'm gonna start with conclusion. A no B means A's B. So with that, you can tell that apostrophe S is what no does. Right?
Okay.
For example, Takeshi's cat is cute. In that case, we have to say Takeshi. Takeshi's, put no here, right? And then cat, neko, is the particle wa, right? And then cute, kawaii. Pretty simple.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Explain a little bit more in detail. In Japanese, we don't have the word or literal translation of the word my, nor do we have like other variations like his, her, their, these stuff. These words we don't have in Japanese.
So like pronouns?
With possession.
Okay.
Like my
Okay.
cat, his cat, her
Okay.
cat, right? Possession version of the pronouns we don't have. Then what would you do when you want to say my cat? One hint, we don't have my, but the closest thing that we have from the word my is I. So how would you use I to make it mean my? Let's try to say my cat. And of course cat stays the same.
Neko.
I is here. Something we can do to I to make it mean my.
Mine, cats,
Yeah, a little bit tricky.
eyes, cats.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Of course.
I was like,
Yeah.
meow.
Of course, it's ungrammatical in English.
Yeah,
right?
that's why my brain was hurting to get there.
Right. But technically, my is eyes, right? Eyes cat is my cat, right? So this is what we have to say in Japanese to mean my. Then how would you say eyes?
Eyes. Watashi no neko?
Yeah, perfect.
Yes.
Yeah. So just remind yourself we don't have the word my, his, her, their, those stuff. Just whatever noun plus no, and that's gonna mean that.
Okay.
Okay. Another one. Some textbooks they explain that A no B is A's B. But also another way of explaining this is when we use the article of. For example, let's do the same one. I no cat neko. If you cannot use this translation and you have to use this word to translate my cat, how would you say in English?
Trying to say my cat again.
But using of.
Of cat of I. The cat of
Yeah.
I.
Right? Cat of I. Of course, this one is also ungrammatical, but word order-wise, we have to put cat here if we have to translate using of, right? In English, when we use of, we start with the main noun that we want to talk about. And then we go to less specific info, like bigger vague info, and just it gets less specific and stuff if you continue. In that sense, English, when we use of, it's the first noun that is the main noun. Like for example, I can say something like, I grew up in Shingu City of Wakayama Prefecture of Kansai
I see.
area
Yeah.
of Japan, of the Earth, of the solar system, right? Like the first noun, Shingu, is the most specific, important noun. All the other nouns that come after are just more vague info that only helps the main noun, right? Back to here, like you came with the same conclusion. When we translate this or paraphrase this using of, we do have to change the order. What that means is, if I want to say the same thing I said here, I grew up in Shingu of Wakayama Prefecture of Kansai area and stuff, I have to, in Japanese, using no, I have to start with the most vague information to a little bit more specific info, more specific, and then the last noun is the main noun because of this difference in translating. In Japanese, we have to say, I grew up in solar systems, Earth, Japan's, Kansai areas, Wakayama prefectures, Shingu is the last one.
Could you start at like the Japan one instead of the
Right,
universe?
yeah.
Okay, you could start at like one,
Yep.
as long as it takes you like a few to get there to the main. Okay.
Yeah, so it is totally fine to just use just one no. That's totally fine. If you want to use more no, it's just that it's just to combine nouns into one noun. I mean, that's what it's doing. Like, for example, when you say my cat, is it talking about two different entities, I and cat, or is it talking about one entity?
I think one, because you're talking about the same thing, which is like me and my cats, we're together.
Right. For example, if I say like my cat farted, then how many entities farted? One, right? My brother's niece's mom farted. Then how many people farted?
One,
right? So apostrophe SO of their functions are to combine two or more nouns into one, right?
Oh, I see.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. No's function is to combine two or more nouns into one. Again, if you just memorize this one, A no B equals A's B. This is the best instead of the of version because, like you noticed, the order will be completely opposite, which is going to be confusing. So it's better to just memorize this way, A's B. Since we covered that A no B equals either A's B or B of A, let's say you want to say I study at University of Minnesota. In this name, we do have the article of, right? So if we just directly apply here, then Minnesota is A and University is B, and in Japanese we have to flip it, right? So we have to put Minnesota first, right? Minnesota, and then no university. In Japanese we say daigaku. This is the literal translation of University of Minnesota, right? But when you say Minnesota no daigaku, what it actually would mean in Japanese, a university in Minnesota. This is the literal meaning when you say Minnesota no daigaku. When I say I study at a university in Minnesota, do I specifically mean I study at U of M?
You could not be meaning it. University of Minnesota. I mean, when I think of University of Minnesota, I think of the U of M.
Right. So with that, when I say I study at a university in Minnesota, it doesn't specifically mean that I study at U of M, right?
Right.
So there's that discrepancy between these two when it comes to translation. Even though we did use these rules and just translate it, right? It is grammatical, but when we say this, it just means university, all the university in Minnesota. It's not just one specific university, right? Why is this happening? This is because the name University of Minnesota, this is the official name. We can't say University in Minnesota to mean U of M. We can't say that, right? Since this is the official name that happens to have of, we always have to say U of M. I mean, some people say the U and stuff, but...
So in Japanese, would you say it University of Minnesota, just straight up?
Good question. So, how do we then specifically mean U of M, right? When you want to say, I study at U of M, for example, we have to go to the Japanese version of the official name of U of M. Official name of U of M in Japanese is Minnesota Daigaku. So there's no particle. The official name of U of M in Japanese is Minnesota Daigaku. Where I'm trying to get at is whenever of is part of a name, official name, then when you want to translate that, you want to use the official name version in Japanese. Don't literally translate like of. Okay, of is no. Don't do this.
I see. Okay. Yep.
Because, like I said earlier, like here I grew up in like Shingu of Wakayama Prefecture of.
Okay.
These information are just general information. Shingu is specific, but like of solar system. If you literally translate of from an official name using of, it would generalize the meaning. If you say University of Minnesota, literal translation Minnesota no daigaku, then it would mean like universities in Minnesota. So it's in general, there's many universities in Minnesota. We have one more particle. It's the particle to. To has two functions.
Oh, I think Duolingo covered to.
Okay, what did I say?
I think it means and.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's all I know.
Okay, so I didn't teach the other one. A to B, yeah. Meaning.
A and B.
Good. Of course, these have to be nouns. Like I ate sushi and ramen. Sushi to ramen, right? The other function is living being. I mean, sometimes it doesn't necessarily have to be a living being. Let's just make it a noun. Noun to equals together with a.
So just combining stuff, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Combining things together.
Like for example, if you want to say I study with my friend, right? Then you put to after my friend, right? For example, Takeshi and I study Japanese versus I study Japanese with Takeshi. These two sentences are basically the same meaning, right? What would you say difference is if you have to?
Well, in the for the first sentence, you're starting with the people, and for the second sentence, the people are sandwiched in the topics in the middle, or the subject of like what's going on.
Okay, let me ask you this question: Who are the subjects on this one the first sentence?
Takashi and I.
Good. So these two are subjects of studying Japanese, right? What's the object of the second sentence?
The object?
Oh, sorry. The subject.
The subject
of the second
is studying Japanese. Or wait, I. It's I.
Mm-hmm. It's not Takeshi?
No.
Right. It's just I, right? This one. Just one subject. This one. Two subjects. What does that mean? This one, where you put I study Japanese with Takeshi, of course, naturally, when you want to emphasize yourself. Maybe a little bit self-centered way of saying, like,
I see.
I study with Takeshi, but by including that person you do something with as the subjects together, you are kind of making it equal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Both of us study Japanese instead of I study with Takeshi, who might be just coming as a supporter or something. So with that, there are some slight differences. Mm-hmm. Basically, if you remember this, then you're good. Just A and B, two nouns, to, together with A. Whoever it is, just put to. One last point that's important. If you want to say, I ate sushi and ramen, and we have to translate into Japanese.
Watashi wa
And then,
8 goes to the back.
Mhm.
Sushi to ramen. 8.
Really close. Each noun has to have usually a particle, right? There's one noun missing a particle.
Mm-hmm.
Which one is it?
Ramen.
Right. Yep. I has wa, sushi, to mean and then ramen. Yeah, this one. To connects the nouns that come after, but the last noun, we still do need particle here. Which particle would you put?
Oh?
Good. Perfect.
Yay.
Yeah. Sushi and ramen are the objects that I ate, right? So this one, to, just to connect the nouns, and then last one, you have to put the correct one for all the nouns that are connected. And you're good. Okay, thank you. Thanks so much everyone for watching. Should we encourage people to subscribe?
Yeah. If you want to see more content like this, just go ahead, support us.
Yes.
We'll be here.
Yeah. All right, thank you. I'll see you guys soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.